This is a Double Face, a true crime podcast. Please make sure to follow, like, and subscribe and get the notifications when a new episode drops. Please help by leaving a 5-star review. It helps the small podcasters like ourselves. Thank you again. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. It's us every week, right? Every week we're going to be here every single week, mamita, si Dios quiere.
I try, but he'll be here every week.
I don't think we have much to discuss, right?
Well, you had the Friends Muss.
We had our Friends Muss, and it was so much. I know, I always forget.
I didn't know how to pronounce. I was like, what do you say to this? And our friend, or your friend Chris, our friend Chris, he's like, it's a Friends Muss. I was like, oh, okay, that's what you call this.
It was cute. We put on I told my friend to put on the fireplace, and it looked pretty, but it was like popping too much.
We got scared.
I don't have a gate for it, so I was a little scared, but luckily my friends were taking care of it. Then we were drinking and playing games, and it was fun though, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
I like it that it doesn't get crazy. Because
Not
sometimes
here.
it can. Oh no.
Gotta go.
No, but I mean, you can get crazy because it was during the day. Yes. Well, I can get competitive.
Yeah.
When it comes to games, I want to win. And that's why sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm going to play this one because I know I get aggressive when I play. But we had a good time nonetheless. We had a lot of gifts. We played and we went home. It was early, like 7 p.m.
Yeah, it was kind of because we started at noon. So
At noon?
Yeah.
7 hours.
It was a brunch, yeah.
It was a brunch.
And then I was leaving, but then it got fun, so I was like, I'll stay and chit-chat because we have another friend que nomás no.
Oh, yes.
She's hilarious.
She's funny, but she always wants to fight. Not with us, though.
No.
With, like, if we're at the bar, she's like, what is she looking at? I'm on, no, Sal, no. I mean, we haven't gone out a lot, but when she does, I'm like, no, Sal, it's okay, we're good. Anyway, this time it's Melissa's turn, so I guess.
So this case was a little, it was an up and down, trying to look for the info because where I started with it kind of left me in limbo. So I was just like, oh my God, I got to go through this and figure it out.
And
so this is going to be, I'm sorry.
And research it?
Yeah, and research it. Not so much research it, but just try to find an ending to it as far as like where.
That's research.
Well, I guess. I guess. No, I know it's research, but it's more of a like, it was almost like a guessing game because I was like, where did the case go? Where did it stay? And I wanted to try to do my best with this case because.
Did you find it?
No, yeah, I did, okay. But it took a little bit. It took a few like searches and stuff.
But not researching. It took searches, but not researching.
I guess because the emotion that was put into it, because once I go through the story, you'll be like, oh my God, okay. I wish there was more. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is the case for Hailey Dunn. Hailey Dunn was born on August 8th, 1997. Okay. She was 13 years old, and she's from Colorado, not Colorado, Colorado City, Texas.
So, of course. It's always in Texas.
I like to do Texas cases. I really do. And she is described as being funny, crazy, and someone that knew exactly what she wanted. And she also had a brother named David.
Okay.
Hailey went to Colorado Middle School. She was a cheerleader. She played softball, basketball. She was in the band and she played the saxophone.
My God. Those are so weird when they're so fluid at everything.
Exactly.
Like they're so good at everything. Yeah. I love it.
She was definitely a go-getter because for her to be able to do all these, like I was just telling you, I got this to do with my daughter and I got that to do, and they're the.
And she only has like one thing, right?
Well, she's in cheerleading and she's playing soccer right now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I could just imagine all the running around for band.
I know because we were talking about it. I said, Mel, you only give me an hour to shoot, literally an hour. And she's like, I know, but because, and her daughter's so horrible at telling her, like, informing her about games and things until the last minute.
So to imagine this little girl going through playing all of that and all the extracurricular activities. Her favorite color was purple. Hailey did live with her mom, which is Billie Jean. I was like, oh my God, that's a cool name. Her brother David.
I love that movie.
Her brother David and her mom's boyfriend, Sean Atkins. Hailey's father did live across the street, which is crazy. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, her father was very, very in tune with his daughter, anything that she needed, so to live across the street says a lot. Because you know how sometimes breakups are not good at all, or divorces.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
I had a little bit of cheese, man. I was on, you know me, I'm on TikTok, honey. Well, I was watching this one thing about TikTok. I'll sum it up really quick. So his current girlfriend is, he proposed to her, and so they're prepping for the wedding, but he still has a child from the first wife, and the first wife, they have a good relationship. They have such a good relationship that they just mutually separated.
Yeah.
They were done. But the current wife or the current fiance didn't want the daughter to be part of it. And he's all, well, I thought you were going to be a holiday dad, meaning you only saw her maybe 2-3 times out of the year. So I didn't think she should be part of the wedding. And you know what that man did? He took that ring off of her and said, get out by tomorrow.
Good for you.
Sorry to throw you off.
No, it's always good for parents to have separated parents, divorced parents, to have a good relationship, because I know I come from a broken home. I know you do too. And people will not or parents do not understand how very vital it is for kids to see their parents get along or be there together, even if you don't. Because for me, it's always, you're always going to have love for that parent because you're, or love for the other person, sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all share a child.
Yeah.
Like, I try to do that to my parents now. It's hard to get them through the thick head, but it's very important for that child to see the what is it? The bond.
The maturity.
Yeah, maturity. There you go.
And I think that's why I was I took it as how protective he was of her. And I think that speaks volumes for the daughter, because now she's gonna know that at any cost her dad will be there to protect her.
Exactly.
I loved it. I said, thank you, mamita.
Yes.
That's a good story. Anyway, go ahead.
So on December 27, 2010 was the last time that Hailey was seen. According to Sean, which is the live-in boyfriend of the mom, Hailey was going to her dad's house, and then from her dad's house, she was going to go to her friend's house, but she never made it. On December 28th, Hailey's mom reported her missing, and as of right now, as of that point in time when she was reported missing, Sean was the last person to see her alive.
And this was when?
This was December 27, 2010.
Oh my God, that's been a long time.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's been a long time, I said. Because sometimes I mumble, people are like, what are you saying? My bad, bro.
Let me see. And at this point, when she was reported missing, she was classified as a runaway.
Ooh.
I swear, that's what I'm telling you. This case really had me like, are you serious?
Doesn't that just piss you off?
This whole case pissed me off. Like, we've gone through cases where it's the justice system is so bad, especially in Texas. God dang it.
And we see it story after story after story.
And this one's really bad.
It's almost comical on how bad it is that when you have a child, God forbid they're a teenager, if they ever go missing, they're considered runaways.
But Hailey's mom was like, no, she's never done this. She's never given me signs that she wanted to run away. She calls her grandmother every day.
Oh, break my heart, honey.
Hailey is always in communication with her dad or sees her dad every day. So if she's not calling him, then she's seeing him.
She's just one of those that's closer to her family. There's just some kids that are like that, even as teenagers, they're close to their family. I have another quick little story. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
There's one in Mexico that I follow on Tickety Talk and Facebook, and she moved from United States to Mexico, and now her son was born in the United States, but now he's going to go to college in about 2 years. And every year the rule is in their family on their birthdays, whatever you want to do, we'll do that. And he doesn't want to have parties. He just wants to be with his family, make food, learn how to make it, and that's it.
Wow.
like I'm telling you, there are some kids that are just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think Hailey and him are like common like that.
Yeah, and she was really close with her dad. So of course a search was conducted almost immediately. Law enforcement and the community came together in search for Hailey. Of course, nothing came up. On February 4th, FBI was called in to help with the search. And on February 6th, 2011, a billboard went up with a picture of Hailey and missing person information. Okay. So of course, it's routine for the family to get looked into and see what history there is there, who was the last person to see Hailey. And at some point, Hailey's mom and Sean take up, because remember, she lives with her mom. They take a polygraph and they both failed. And I know how you feel kind of about polygraph tests.
You would take one?
I would take one if I had to. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Cause
I'm brown, honey, and that's
gotcha.
down to some people.
Okay.
So I wouldn't do it. I would get a lawyer immediately. Even with my being innocent, when you're close like that, I feel like I would be the first one to, if I'm not protected, if somebody, like you said, the officers don't want to do their job, they're gonna just blame the first one to get the case closed. So no, I wouldn't.
So here's the kicker. Sean walks out on the first two attempts. The first two times that they ask him to take it, he says no. Again, he says no. He walks out both times.
Sean's the stepdad, right?
Sean is the live-in boyfriend, yes.
Or, I'm sorry, live-in boyfriend.
And finally, on the third attempt, he takes it, obviously fails. And then...
On what question?
On, I guess the questions that they were asking throughout, because it didn't give me specific questions. It just said that he had walked out 2 times. The third time went ahead and took it and failed. And then he did say during the third attempt, he did say, because I guess they asked him, like, where would you find Hailey or something of that nature? And he said, Hailey could be found in Scurry, Texas. I was just like, what?
Is it far from where they live?
Scurry, Texas is not that far. I think it was 23 minutes. I may be wrong, because there's a lot of math that I was trying to do between the cities that they've mentioned throughout the case. I could be wrong. And then they asked him again, so they asked him again about Hailey's whereabouts, and at that point he refuses to answer the question.
Now, if he had took a stance and said no immediately because I'm not comfortable with that, then I understand. But he didn't. He got up, left, then took it, failed. I would be like, the trail's right there.
Exactly.
Stops and starts there.
Exactly. And then
she's young, probably very beautiful, and some men just separate that. Like they don't. That's not my child. Does that make sense? So I bet you he kept. Did they live in boyfriend, right?
Yes, live in boyfriend.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And then the police asked him, "Who should we be looking at?" And Sean answered, "Both of us," which meant him and the mom.
You motherfucker. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry.
So then, in a statement with police, Sean did say that on the day that Hailey went missing, he went to work to quit his job and then went to go visit his mom in Big Springs, Texas. So where Sean worked at is about a 28-minute drive. So he worked in Schneider, Texas.
Schneider?
And then that's a 28-minute drive from Colorado City. Then from Snyder, where his job was at.
Schneider. The reason I know that is because in To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, in that movie, it's Schneider.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what he said, to Big Springs, Texas, it's about a 51-minute drive. So just keep that in mind. And it's like a triangle kind of, the way the distance are from Colorado City to Schneider to Big Spring, Texas, and then back. So to the triangle.
That's interesting. Okay. It's doable, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And according to Hailey's father, who, remember, he lives across the street, stated that Hailey's brother David had given a statement to police saying that he had tried entering his mom's home on December 27th, which is the day that Hailey went missing. But the door was locked, so he was knocking and nothing, nobody was answering. He's just like, somebody should be here. Like, why aren't you answering? That somebody should have been Sean. Sean was home.
But not the mom.
But not the mom. And the door was locked, so he had to go through the window. And when he entered the home, he sees David. David sees Sean. And he's just like, Sean's like, oh shit, like, what are you doing here? And kind of like if he got caught doing something.
Yeah.
So of course, the brother thought nothing of it. He just kept doing his thing. He went to go get clothes. It didn't say.
But he doesn't explain that. He doesn't ask like, "Hey, how come you didn't answer the door? I had to go through the window."
No, he just wanted like, dude, what? Like it was just like one of those like, and then he just like, okay, well you were here, kind of like it was kind of like they were talking to each other without talking to each other, I guess, with their eyes. Because it's like, why'd you answer the door? All right, let me go to my room type of thing is how I understood it. Yeah. And
I'm assuming because she's a girl and a teenager, more likely they had separate rooms, right?
Yes, yeah. Because remember, this is the day of her disappearance. So he just either, remember the story was she went to her dad's and then went to her friend's. So that's
no blood, nothing was said.
As far as right now, no.
Okay. Oh, I love how you say that all the time. As far as right now, I'm like, tell me.
And then after all that weird behavior coming from Hailey's mom, because remember, she was acting kind of weird too, because she also, I'm sorry I didn't mention, but she also got up and left during the polygraph test. So she got up once and took off and then came back and took the test. Yes, I'm sorry I didn't mention that.
Okay. I have so many fucking questions, but I feel you're not gonna have not one answer. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Go, sorry.
What?
I just feel like it doesn't. So earlier when he said David
the brother?
No,
that's Sean.
Sean, sorry.
Yeah.
Bad with names, sorry. Sean, when he said you need to look at both of us.
Yes.
At first I was like, what a coward, right? Most unalivers, people that murder somebody, they'll blame the mother because either they're bad mouthing or whatever.
Yes.
But in this situation, for her to walk away as well, it doesn't make any sense. You had said it. If I was in that situation, I'd want to be clear.
Yes.
Right? And any mother, let's get it out of the way. Let's go. But for her to walk out as well just looks a little suspicious.
It gets a little bit more suspicious. So Hailey's mom and Sean, which is the boyfriend, police start looking into their movements because remember they walked away from the polygraph and they started acting kind of funny. So they both see that and their separate bank. Sorry, let me do that again. Sorry. Sean and her Hailey's mom and Sean, which is the boyfriend, police start looking into their movements. And they see that both make separate bank withdrawals totaling $140. For some reason, I guess that looked weird to them. Usually it's a bigger withdrawal, but for police that seemed kind of odd.
They each took $140 out?
Totaling $140, which I don't know if the movement for them was a little off. Like, why were you withdrawing money?
So like 70 and 70
or
60
something like that. Yeah,
okay. And
I was just like, okay, but that was only $140. But I said, let me put it in the story. This is why. Because the day that Hailey went missing, they went and purchased narcotics in Snyder, Texas. There has to be something going on in Texas that they kept in Snyder that they kept driving back. So that day they withdrew the money.
Narcotics? What do you mean narcotics? They were drug users?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't say that.
Well, it just came. They came out. It
Okay.
came out at that point in time where that's where they noticed that they were drug users.
This makes complete sense that maybe this is why this young little girl stayed focused at school. So she got away from not being at home. They were both users?
The boyfriend, the living boyfriend, and the mom.
Oh, that's a different. Now you're fucking with something else. Okay.
Exactly, but that's what I said. It came out at that point in time in the story. That's why it's kind of coming out in that order. Investigators also found out that Hailey's mom and Sean hosted a New Year's Eve party in their home.
Okay.
Mind you, Hailey's missing. Hailey went missing December 27th, 2010.
Week later.
New Year's is obviously, December 31st leading into midnight. So that's only, 3 or 4 days?
Oh, that is suspicious, honey.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Hailey's mom tells police it wasn't a party. There was no alcohol involved. Everyone there was just there to support us. But Hailey's father, who lives across the street, who is keeping an eye on that house because he's like, my daughter needs to come home. Like, I don't know what happened to her.
That's a regular reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not celebrating this shit without your daughter. Why would you want to celebrate it?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, sorry.
So Hailey's father has binoculars on the house because he's like, okay, let me see if I see my daughter. Because obviously you don't want to go and disrespect the home either, because that's still, the mom's home.
Because they have a good relationship.
Exactly. So he sees people bringing in alcohol, having a good time, celebrating. It's a New Year's Eve party. But the mom's saying, of course not. So there's that. It's just so many weird, or not weird, but the behavior that the mom is displaying, considering that your daughter's missing.
I think he's just gonna break. The boyfriend would break first before the mom. Sorry.
Ready? No, I was like, you ready? So a search is conducted in Hailey's mom's home, and investigators find documents of different types of crimes: mass murders, serial killers, sexual sadists. Hailey's mom explains the explanation for these documents was, it's just a hobby to search these things and see what they do. I was just like,
well, in all fairness, if you look at our phones, we probably would go to jail if you just saw our phones.
No, there's a difference. No, but there's a difference. Your daughter is missing.
Yeah.
And you find this when they conduct the search.
And is it before or after? Did they say, to clarify, like that she was researching, or not researching, sorry, just looking? Just looking at some stuff before she went missing?
It didn't say, but they found, so they were printed. So the paperwork, so it's documents printed, and that's how they found it. They didn't find it on the computer. So they can't, maybe the timestamps on the documents, but it didn't say. It just said, they just found it really off-putting. Yeah, that you find these types of things and your daughter is missing.
Yeah,
and the behavior leading up to all of that.
It gives you like a sour taste in your mouth.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
for sure. There was also a domestic dispute that was also found in February of 2010. Sean allegedly threatened to kill both Hailey and her mother. At first, he denied it when he was asked the question, but later admitted to saying that he had said that statement.
Well, do you know what drug they were using?
It didn't say what drug.
Or narcotics or whatever you want.
Yeah, no, it didn't say what drug.
Okay.
That's why he said narcotics, because it's kind of like,
it's too broad. Yeah.
But they didn't say, it was heroin or it was, anything like that. It didn't specify.
Yeah.
Hailey's uncle also stated that he had an encounter with Sean. The uncle had said that who would do this to a young girl? Sean states, well, it's just like killing a deer. And the uncle was at a loss for words. He's kind of like that, like, what? But we also find out that Sean is a deer hunter and knows how to dismember deers with a chainsaw.
You're comparing an animal to a human life.
Mm-hmm.
And you are comparing it to, it's equivalent to killing an animal. That's how easy it is what he's saying.
Is what he's saying. Uh-huh.
I personally don't think there's an attachment with Sean because he's just the stepdad, right? Or the step whatever.
Yeah.
So there's not a full attachment with this young girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now the mother is a different situation.
Exactly.
But she could also be like, she could just be jealous of her daughter because she's beautiful. She has all this going on. She's not falling for the bullshit. So
it could be.
It could just be envy.
Yeah. So on January 11th, 2011, Sean Atkins officially becomes a person of interest in Hailey's disappearance.
Good.
On February 25th, 2011, police found thousands and thousands of child sex abuse images on a memory stick that was found in Hailey's home. Hailey's mom's home, along with a computer found at Sean's mom's home with more child abuse searches and stuff like that.
Not to be vulgar or grotesque in any way, was it a specific gender?
It didn't say specific gender. It just said child abuse. Child sex abuse images.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because she has a brother.
Yes.
Who lives in the same house.
Yes.
And he's not stating like I was uncomfortable. He
never did. No. And other than the encounters that he had the day that she went missing, I think that's the only time that I think David comes out. I think there might be another point, but I gotta go through the story to make sure.
It's just so it's uncomfortable, unnerving that she is the only victim, but I guess it's possible that he's only attracted to young girls rather than boys. So
Billie Jean, which is Hailey's mom, also comes out on a national television show, and Hailey's paternal grandmother is also calling in because they want to speak about the case. They want to put it out there that Hailey's missing. So the mom comes out on the show, and then the paternal grandmother calls in. And
because that's concern.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actual concern.
Exactly. And Hailey's grandmother is trying. This is where you find out that Hailey's grandmother is trying to get custody of Hailey because of everything that was being said behind the scenes, coming from Hailey, her not feeling comfortable. And this is what she said. That
how can you get full custody if she's not even there?
This was before she
went
missing.
prior to that makes sense as to why she has a relationship and I was like, why would you call your grandmother every day?
Yes.
And your dad because you don't feel safe.
Exactly.
So it was a different that's different. It's not like she was just, because I'm assuming she's just being a teenager that's loving and caring, but she can be, but it seems like I don't want to be here at all.
Which I found very...
It was a safety issue.
It was, and I found that very odd because her dad lived right across the street. Then why didn't you just go live with your dad? But I don't know. It's just a question I thought of.
I think we're all thinking the same thing. Why didn't you just go across the street and live there?
Mm-hmm. And so where was I at? Right before her disappearance?
Sorry.
She says, okay, so this is why her grandmother was seeking custody. Hailey was scared of Sean. She would see the light go on in the hallway when everyone was supposed to be asleep, and his feet would appear right under her bed. Right under her door. Yeah, right under her door of her bedroom door is what I put. That's why I got confused. And he would stay standing there for a long period of time. Like, he wouldn't open the door, but he would stay, and she would just see his feet. And I guess that made her, nervous to think that maybe something might happen.
Ew, that's scary. Go ahead. Sorry, we have a male.
Okay, person. I was like, oh no, who's there? So on March 17th, 2011, Billie Jean, which is the mom, admits to lying to Sean's whereabouts on that day because police go looking for him that day. And when they arrive to the home, they're like, okay, is Sean here? We need to speak to him. And she's like, I don't know where he's at. He's not here. And it later comes out that he is there. So she gets arrested and she is charged with lying to police, hindering an investigation, and drug possession. She is sentenced to a year probation, and after the sentencing, she moves to Travis County, which is about 250 miles from Colorado City. And at that point, I'm assuming that, because it doesn't say like if they break up, so I'm assuming that they break up, that they're not together at that point, because she's like, oh shit, I'm getting in trouble for this guy for no reason. Like, what am I doing?
To me, I don't, like, I understand the drug abuse or the doing drugs. That's your demons, right? That's, you don't know how to deal with your demons. But this is your fucking daughter. And your daughter is going missing, and you see fit that having a party less than a week later, after her missing, you think it's appropriate to keep on this charade. And then on top of it, you feel safe enough to protect your boyfriend, not your daughter. Because if you wanted to protect your daughter, you would immediately tell the police, I have nothing to do with this. Do whatever you gotta do. Get him the fuck to jail if he's gotta go. But she's not protecting him in any way, or protecting her in any way.
Yeah, exactly.
She seems to be one of those, what do you call those, submissive bullshit women that love her man first before her child.
Yeah, I hate those.
Me too.
Ugh.
It drives me fucking
Insane.
nuts. Me too. So fuck you, Billie Jean. I love the movie, not her.
And of course, the case goes cold at that point in time. On March 13th, 2013, human remains were found near Lake J.B. Thomas. The person who found the remains was actually, all he was doing was he was actually looking for fossils. So that's how he comes.
That's adorable.
Yeah, he was actually looking
I was
for
just
fossils.
brushing for some fossils.
Yeah, and ends up finding a skull, a toe, a tooth, a femur, and also blue sweatpants, which Hailey was last seen wearing blue sweatpants.
So he chopped it. He was brutal with, he or she or they were brutal with his body, right? Because you have a missing tooth, you have pieces, so you chopped her up.
Maybe.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
And obviously the remains were sent off to be tested. On April 26, 2013, police announced that the remains that they found were in fact belonged to Hailey Dunn.
It's not surprising. And you remember how you said the triangle part? Does that place where they found the body within that triangle part?
It's in Scurry County. So Scurry County does not play Scurry. I don't know, because it's Colorado to Snyder. I was trying to say
Schneider.
I was like, I'm gonna get it wrong.
I know.
To Big Spring, Texas. So I want to say Scurry County is probably in like Big Spring, Texas, like in that area.
So within the triangle.
Yeah, within the triangle. Where am I at? In 2018, Hailey's case was turned over to Scurry County Police, since that's where her remains were found. Okay. In 2019, Hailey's father spoke out about how poor of a job Scurry County was doing on Hailey's case. He felt that there was poor communication and they didn't handle her case. Like, they weren't handling her case at all, is how he felt. Because he felt kind of left in the dark. Because he's like, I'm not hearing anything. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what type of investigation they're doing, other than what was already done at the beginning when they were finding all these things, or when they looked into Sean Atkins and Billie Jean, the mother. That's all they had found at that point in time.
I get his perspective. I completely do. You want some type of reassurance, but at the same time, it's hard, because how are police going to tell him what they have? Because they got to keep it close to the chest. They can't really tell him every single bit, but I'm not blaming the dad. I understand.
It's probably just more of like, hey, you know, we are doing this, we are doing the footwork, but some stuff we just can't release, because if we do, then the killer might,
or the
find out.
people that we were interested in might find out.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
But at least you're letting him know that. You know what I mean? He felt like nothing was happening. So on June 14th, 2021, Sean Atkins is arrested for Hailey Dunn's murder and charged with first-degree murder, second-degree tampering with evidence. On September 21st, Sean Atkins is indicted for first-degree murder of Hailey Dunn, Sean is also indicted for second-degree felony tampering or fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. His bail was set at $2 billion.
That's awesome. So somebody didn't fail the court system. What? No, don't say he's out.
It was a lot of back and forth between September 21st until June of 2023. Sean Atkins is released after spending 2 years in jail awaiting trial. The reason the charges were dropped was because the prosecution didn't have enough evidence other than circumstantial evidence. That's all.
But did they have enough circumstantial evidence that they could say, "Oh, fuck"?
Because he ends up getting the lawyer, and once he gets a lawyer, because of course it's court appointed.
Yeah.
The lawyer asked for all the evidence, everything that the prosecution had. He asked for, and when prosecution's like, "Oh shit, we don't have enough evidence to charge him," they had to let him go. But they did let him go, so the case was dropped with prejudice, which means that the state can refile charges against Sean Atkins at any time for the murder of Hailey Dunn.
Good.
Remember, that's June of 2023. Mm-hmm. During the investigation and the preparation for Hailey's case, Hailey's autopsy is obviously it's conducted, and it comes out that blunt force injury to her skull is determined of like that was her death, and also that it almost happened like, let me read it word for word, that the injury had been inflicted at or near the time of death and likely resulted in significant bleeding is how she passed.
Okay.
But there was no forensics test done on Hailey's home when she disappeared. So therefore, if there was blood,
it's gone now.
It's gone now.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
And that goes back to Colorado City Police.
Yes, now I see why the dad said that they dropped the fucking ball.
So they dropped it there, and also with Scurry County, because remember now they have the case. So between both these police stations, it feels like nothing's been done.
And it's so stupid when there's two different sides when they have to work together. I don't understand why they can't just put their pride aside and say, let's find the murderer. Mm-hmm. It's within reach usually.
Yeah.
What I don't understand though is how the brother, I'm not blaming the brother. I'm wondering why he's not vocalizing more. Meaning I understand that he walked into a situation and it was uncomfortable and he might have left. But there's got to be more that he's got to piece together. Maybe he didn't see the blood in the room, but he could have seen, oh yeah, but then my mom did end up buying a new rug, removed carpet that week. We couldn't go into her room, locked the room, something to
indicate, that there was a murder.
Something happened. Yeah. If the situation didn't happen in the house, which I think it did, right?
I think it did, but I think they're thinking it probably didn't because nobody has said anything. Like you're saying, the brother or the mom, or obviously the mom was hiding stuff, but...
Yeah, the mother should also be in fucking jail. Fuck her.
But
I don't care if she says, no, I didn't anything. Fuck you. You should be in there with him too.
But it's because the brother wasn't home, so he was actually returning back from I think I put it on here. He's actually returning from a night with his friends. So he had spent the night.
No, you didn't.
Well, that's what I said. I think it's down here because later on some more of.
Because I'm assuming it's in the daytime.
He comes back in the daytime, but after the fact. So he wasn't home leading up to.
At night.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So that's important. And the reason I say that's important to know is because I'm assuming he's coming in the daytime, like during school or after school hours, and then they saw each other and they were like, whatever, fuck it, just go.
Yeah.
But getting caught for something that you snuck out for and we're supposed to be home, then I get why the brother didn't say anything.
Yeah, because he doesn't
to whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah,
Sean.
Because he doesn't honestly, when he walks into the situation, he doesn't know what's going on, because he stayed at the night at his friends, then came back and was either, like, I'm assuming he was probably either getting clothes or something of that nature, because he seemed like he was older, so he wasn't always home, is how I understood it.
But you didn't know the age at the time.
No, the age, it didn't come out. Like, barely anything came out on the brother. Like that's what said, this case was really difficult to get info on.
It's just, I guess, because everybody's thinking it as they're listening. Why isn't there more coming from the people that were in the house?
Yeah.
Two look like they're conspiring together. I get it.
Yeah.
But the brother had to have seen something before and after. That's all I'm saying, is that there had to be more of a connection.
Like other than just that day.
Correct.
Gotcha.
That afterwards, even if he wasn't there, he had to have noticed it was a change.
Yeah.
Change in behavior, change in situations. When the party was going on, somebody there at the party must have seen something. Let's just say they're all drug users. Nobody remembers.
It's what it seems like.
Yes.
Yeah.
But somebody that had been there should have seen that there's a difference. I don't know.
Yeah. The other than the role of the brother just seeing at that point in time coming in, that was the only time he played a role in the case. And then mentioning him like seeing Sean's reaction, like almost a deer in a headlight type of situation, like oh shit, I'm about to get caught. That was the only thing that came out as far as the brother. Multiple searches on Sean's vehicle were conducted, but any evidence that was found was not forensically tested.
What the fuck? Oh my god, this police station, I hope everybody is fired and there's actual officers here.
Now, cell phone evidence. Cell phone records show that a cell phone, Hailey's phone, was sending a text message out at 2:16 p.m. the day that she went missing, which is December 27th, 2010, and at 2:27, and an incoming call to her phone at 2:57. So everybody's assuming that she was alive up until then.
Or between the text and the call.
Yes, which is 2:57.
Between 2:57 and 2:26, it could have been where she went. She died because who didn't say who the call's coming from, right?
No, it doesn't say the calls. It doesn't say what the messages were. I'm assuming a lot of that's staying close because they don't want to let that out.
But I'm assuming it's I think she's dead in between that time. If it's 2:20, and you're talking about AM.
So this is PM. So text messages go out at 2:16 PM and at 2:27 PM. And an incoming call to her phone at 2:57 PM.
But it's an incoming call.
She
never answered it.
Incoming call. It doesn't say
she answered it. I guess maybe that's why they're like, it's at 2:57. Yeah. Maybe she did. I just find it really odd, and you don't even know what day, right? That falls on a Friday, Saturday. And the reason I'm saying this is because
December 2010. No, I didn't say if it was like Friday, Saturday, anything like that.
Because I think if it was if it was in the living room and or kitchen, there's gonna be residue of what happened, right? Especially because it's blood forms trauma to the head, and it caused a lot of gushing out of blood. So I keep assuming that it's done in her room and or a room that is not hers. I don't think she's comfortable to be in her mom's room, so she's gonna be in her room for the most part, right?
Yeah, or the living room, like the open space area.
But then that also leads to where the blood had to have been all over.
It's something, exactly.
Correct. And the brother, even if the brother wasn't there as often as he was, there had to have been something left behind. Something new. Why is there new sofas? Like something had to have been there.
Or the smell of like cleaning. Didn't mention
correct.
that. Yeah.
So I think that there's more that I could see why you wanted to have a end conclusion to it. I'm not sure if you do, but
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So her phone is connected to the cell phone tower in Colorado City. Sean's cell phone connects to a tower in Big Springs, Texas. A text message is sent out at 1:53 and at 2:40 p.m. He also took a call at 2:56 p.m. But their phones pinged in two different locations.
His and hers.
Yep. Colorado City.
But that's easy to not imitate, but what is that? That's easy to, because mom could be there responding.
According to what documents are saying, she was at work.
So her phone pinged at work?
No, not the mom's. In other words, Hailey's mom is not in the picture until after the fact.
If the reason
So,
is, so they're saying
that it was going to come out in the next.
But they're saying that she wasn't there at home. They're saying that we could tell that the mom was at work.
Yes.
Okay.
So and it says here, okay, so the cell phone pings, right? Mm-hmm. So of course it shows that Hailey might have been alive before 2:57 p.m. And then I had already mentioned that the brother was not home and came back home, and that's how he found Sean, like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. So when he came back home, obviously it was about 5 p.m. And he didn't see Hailey at the house. Mm-hmm. At 6 p.m., Sean left to go pick up Billie Jean, which is the mom, mm-hmm. from work, and he wasn't alone after that until the next morning. So there's a big... They keep using from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. as the alone time that he had with Hailey. But I'm like, well, the mom went to work and the brother wasn't home. So it was more of like an all-day thing versus 3 to 5. But I guess because Hailey's phone pinged before 3 p.m. is why they're saying she was still alive.
What I'm thinking is... Did somebody have who lives in
Big Spring,
Texas?
His mom, Sean's mom.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody's got to be familiar with the city to know that mm-hmm. I can dump a body there and not worry about it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, somebody's got to have a cell phone. All I'm thinking is just because it pinged over there doesn't mean he's over there. Mm-hmm. A phone can ping mm-hmm. because you're like setting the stage up. Mm-hmm. And you could say, hey, mom, text me on this time because I'll forget. Call me mm-hmm. to this number. I don't have my phone. So who knows what this conspires? I think he has something to do with it mm-hmm. because of the mom's behavior afterwards. Mm-hmm. Whether she was directly involved, I don't know. But indirectly, I think she had to have a part in it. Mm-hmm. Because why wouldn't you point the finger at Sean to say, hey, put him in jail? Yes. He deserves it. That's mm-hmm. my child that I gave birth to. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I messed up. Going off.
I'm over it.
You can hear it.
So as of right now, Hailey Dunn's case is classified as unsolved. Hailey's father has made a Facebook dedicated to his daughter, which is Who Killed Hailey Dunn. And there's updates on there. There's stuff that he talks about and bills that he wants to try to push as far as I didn't get too much into like the bills he's trying to push because it kind of was kind of fresh, mm-hmm. so to speak, and I didn't understand the terminology of it, so I was like, I don't understand it, so I don't want to speak on something I don't understand. But that's where we're at now. It's unsolved. He's still a person of interest. He can still be charged if they find any what is it called? I'm trying to use the right term when you find like DNA or anything mm-hmm. like that.
I don't know the term you're talking about. I guess because I keep thinking about how easy it is to solve that mm-hmm. it's right there.
Yes.
But how hard it is to put in place because of the call. It's confusing, right?
Yes.
Because he automatically states without having to be pushed about anything that he's telling you, it's at Big Spring, Texas. Mm-hmm. That's where her body is. Mm-hmm. And I'm not alone in this. And the mother has something to do with it.
Exactly.
So he's already served you the platter, right? Mm-hmm. Now you just have to literally do the work and find mm-hmm. where along the way. And I think with enough pushing, because he's already said it, he's gonna crack. you just need to get him in there asking the right questions, preferably a completely different police station, just to get somebody, ask for help from the FBI, somebody to get somebody else in there to ask the correct question.
I don't know why the FBI didn't stay involved, because I feel like these small cities, because this is not the first case that it's a small city, that they make so many mistakes.
Well, sometimes they're not prepared for it.
That's
I get
what
it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And
but
so
say I'm not ready.
Exactly. But then there goes, like you said, the egos and stuff like that, and you're like, well, I know better.
What's
and
the
I
scariest
know the law.
thing? A man's ego.
Mm-hmm. And so I feel like there wasn't enough education coming from Colorado City, that they just dropped the ball at so many attempts in trying to, why didn't you go to the house and get evidence if you knew that's the last place that she was seen at? Because according to Sean, she was there, went to her dad's, then went to her friend's. Her friend, I didn't mention this, but her friend wasn't even expecting her either. She's just like, she wasn't supposed to come over here. She never mentioned that she was going to come to my house. So that was another thing. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention
that's
that.
That's a big
one. Yeah, so that's
because
another.
Because that's automatically telling you that she doesn't want to be alone. Because if the mom's not there, then she's saying, I'm not comfortable at home. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be home. Why?
Exactly.
Is it the brother? Wait, the brother's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Then it has to be Sean.
It was just them two at home that day.
So it's like the trail is right there. It leads and stops there. You have your person, find it. Ask the right questions. Guys, do your due diligence. Somebody
I know I'm not an officer, but that's...
Clock in.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking to see how the system failed this young little girl, trying to find who, her killer was. Imagine what she went through, the last things that she saw, the last moments of her life. And
I think that's a interesting thing that I would love to. I know we don't have the space that says this is like the best of interviews, but I would love to interview somebody who's an officer or an agent that we can ask, what are the right questions to when you're sitting there? Yeah, that's true. Well, yes, and I think we do. Oh yeah, I forgot that we have a connection. Mm-hmm. But that we have something similar to just simply ask, what are the right questions? Mm-hmm. Like for somebody who's sitting there to listen, what should we ask as somebody who's like the father that's trying to find the answers? Mm-hmm. What's the right thing to ask? What's the right thing to say if nobody else is helping?
Yeah.
But it's frustrating nonetheless because we know who it is, right? Mm-hmm. But
that's why this case, I said it took a lot out of me, because it's just like one failed thing after another for this little girl, and the answers are right there, and it's like nobody cared enough. That's what I felt. I'm not saying that
not
that's
the
what
dad
happened.
Or the brother.
As far as like law enforcement, I just felt like nothing was being done. Is how I feel.
Yeah, and fuck you, Billie Jean. Just FYI. Just if you could go fuck yourself, that would be great.
I will say.
Yeah, twice if you can. But anyway, with that said, thank you so much for listening. We love you. We gotta go. Dame un besito.
Bye, guys.
Bye.